we're going to go ahead and start the show. So, Bill, how are you doing?
Good morning, just fine. Nice to be here.
And everyone, I'm Larry Eberhard.
Bill Hunt.
And I want to welcome you to Weekend Meetup. And as always, we prepare our best to get ready for this, but there's always something new. YouTube has changed a lot of the stuff as far as like how the system works. The links are a little different now, but it's a great system, and we're basing our whole platform on it.
As other people do too. Yes, it's out there. It's available. Just have to know what you're doing, and that's where Larry comes in. He pushes all the buttons and gets all the software to communicate with each other.
That's right. So we have like a few different pieces of software that we use. Something I want to talk about right away is our good friend Casey Zeman finally got our software for doing the processing of putting it up live on the website, and also making it evergreen where you can go back and watch replays right from the website. He's finally got that software up and running. Didn't happen till late yesterday afternoon, Bill. I didn't get a chance to put it on the stmaryslive.com site, but it is live on the Maryland TV site on the mdtvn.com, because we're actually looking at it.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, so that's working out good, and so I'm pretty happy about that. Hey, just getting into real quick, I know we want to wrap this up usually within about 10 minutes is what we shoot for. I don't know if we'll make that, but we'll shoot for that. The big thing this week here in St. Mary's County has been the weather.
Yep, schools were closed. We had delayed openings here at the county. There's some snow out there, little ice, people trying to get the snow out of the way. It's been pretty cold for here, but spring's coming.
Yeah, and even though the weather was bad, I still came into work every single day because I had some research to do. Do you remember what we talked about last week? I said I was going to research.
Yeah, you were going to look into this thing called a perk.
A perk. Now, I have an idea. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put a slide up and tell you what I think a perk is.
You go ahead. Let's see how close you got.
Okay, does it have anything to do with this?
Well, you are pretty close. The only thing is that the family outhouse has been replaced with the family septic system. The water that's used in the house leaves through the sink drain, the bathtub, the shower, the washing machine, the toilets. The water goes out of the house into the septic system, and from the septic system it gets treated and gets released back into the environment. The first thing that happens is the water goes into the septic tank itself, where all the organic solids are broken down by microorganisms. The water flows out of the septic tank into buried underground pipes that are perforated. This is called the drain field, and the effluent, as it's called, drains out of these pipes into the ground itself and goes down. Now, what happens next is the groundwater. You can think of the ground and the earth, where the groundwater and this effluent come together and get mixed up, as a big punch bowl. Now, that's because most of the houses in St. Mary's County that are on septic systems are also on private wells. So what happens is the effluent enters the groundwater in this punch bowl, and then the punch becomes the groundwater and everything that's in it that eventually gets pumped up into somebody's water well back into their house. Of course, it's critically important that the effluent be clean by the time it reaches the groundwater, and that's where the perk test comes in. Now, Larry's got some slides that goes through some of the basics with regard to the process so that you can apply for your perk test and get your property looked at to see if you can have a septic system on it.
And before we hit that slide, I just want to say something to you. Do not drink anything out of that punch bowl.
Well, until it gets certified by the health department as being okay to drink, which again is why they do these perk tests all over the county. So for the basics, as we've kind of alluded to here, the perk test itself is a soils test to determine if the soils and groundwater conditions on a property are suitable for an on-site sewage disposal system, and that's really just another name for a septic system, the more formal name. What you do to get your perk test, which is also called in more formal parlance the soil percolation test, PERC being an abbreviation, you apply for that at the Department of Land Use and Growth Management at the Permit Services Office. And what they will do is take the application and send it to the St. Mary's County Health Department's Environmental Health Services. Now the PERCs are performed in the wet months, and that's because the groundwater is at its highest level. The higher the water table, the less distance between the groundwater and the drain field. So you want to do it when that's at the minimum to be sure that throughout the year the effluent is clean before it gets into your groundwater.
And Bill, just real quick, didn't you say something about we just got a message in about perk tests?
We did. The St. Mary's Health Department put out a news release this week to let residents know that wet season perk testing will begin on February 3rd. And what's important to realize for you, Larry, is that if you're planning to modernize that bathroom that you showed at the start,
yes,
you want to be sure that you don't miss this opportunity to apply for a perk test to see if you can actually get indoor plumbing. When you do get a perk test, the health department is there to supervise, and so the preliminary results are generally known the day of the testing. And if your property is found suitable for a septic system through the perk test, your perk test remains valid unless septic regulations change.
All right, so that's pretty cool. And the thing I guess to really remember is always go to the county website and make sure you've got the latest information. This here that we put out is just like a summary. You still want to check before you put any investment into it. You want to check and make sure that you have all the latest and greatest.
Follow the steps that are on the website.
Yeah. Hey, now, Bill, you know what? This brings me up to my favorite thing that we are going to start adding every week. Do you have an idea what that is?
I think it has something to do with look at what you can find on the St. Mary's County government website.
That's right. And as always, we want to take and go to that calendar because that's the best place to start, right?
I think it's the best place because it lets everybody know what's going on in St. Mary's County that you might be interested in. And if you didn't go to this part, you may miss the event.
That's right. So the first thing you do?
Well, last week we showed you that you go to Google, where everybody else is, and you type in St. Mary's County Government. Takes you there.
You select that?
Yeah, well, of course.
That's right.
Takes you to the county webpage. Pardon me there. And last week we left you hanging. We showed you where the community calendar is, but we didn't hit View All. This week we're going to click on View All, and look what happens. You get events. Now we picked this one just because it's a colorful graphic. Just happens to be the American Legion Bluegrass. Now they have events throughout the year, but they actually have one tomorrow too. So go to their website and find out all about it. And while you're there, check out all the other community events throughout St. Mary's County. The calendar that's on the county website is actually for the entire year, so you can look at upcoming events and check back too, because new events are added as people think to put them on the website.
Yeah, and like we said last week, that's where we go to find all the current events and topics for Weekend Meetup.
Right. We get a lot of our material from there.
Yep. Okay, hey, so right now we are exactly at the 10-minute mark. As far as monitoring, we're within the 10-minute mark. And so I think this would be a good spot to end episode 4 of Weekend Meetup.
Right, and episode 5 next week is February 1st, 11 o'clock our time.
That's right. And so if you don't have anything else,
that'll do it.
Okay, I'm Larry Eberhard.
Bill Hunt.
And I want to thank you for joining us for episode 4 of Weekend Meetup. We'll see you all next week.